Hi guys, welcome to the video. So today we'll take a look at another game from Armies of Exigo, and this will be a matchup between Legit and Quick. So let's take a look on that. I believe this is the third game of Legit that we are looking on. One here with Retroblader and one here with Soulskeeper. But this time we'll be playing with Quick, which I don't think appeared in our videos yet. He's kinda new to our community, at least at the time when I'm recording this, but he should be able to show us something interesting here since we have it saved. I don't think I maybe saw this, either I saw it and I don't remember it, or I didn't see this replay because I know that they were sending me some replays that I haven't seen and they were saying they will be worth it to record, but not sure if it was this one, but I still don't remember the game, so we will see how it will go. But Legit is playing here with Beast. Of course he was a long time Empire main, but lately he was also experiencing with some Beast, I believe, so that might be kinda interesting. He's producing more minions, getting his arena in stables here in the front. Arena a little bit more in the front, which I always like because it's tankier building. Even though we actually increased the stables HP in some patch from 500 to 600, but of course arena still more tanky. You have 400 more HP. I believe armor is probably 2 on both. Let's wait for the Baron to finish. Yeah, both have 2 armor, same resistances, so yeah, arena definitely always should be in the front, and you can put a totem here pretty safely, or you can just expand, but yeah, totem is safer if you haven't found the enemy yet, and since he didn't go for like immediate scout, this is definitely a safer approach. But yeah, Fallen here, Quick is going for immediate expansion, making the Dark Fortress here. This map is exactly made for that. It's basically impossible to lose because of the expansion here as Fallen. If you make immediate expansion on Inner Sanctum against Beast, you shouldn't be able to lose if you know how to defend it. I mean, you shouldn't be able to lose because of the expansion. Of course, you can lose later, but there are maps where if you expand with Fallen, even against Beast immediately, then you can get rushed and actually die. This map should be pretty much safe. But at the same time, the Fallen can still decide to not do it, so you can't really just count on the fact that Fallen will always go fast expansion, unless you know that the player just does it every single time. But since as I said, this is a new player, we didn't have that much information about his playstyle, so Legit was definitely playing a little bit more safe here. I don't like this, of course, because now he's already making a Goblin Hut before expansion. That's just too much. Yeah, you need to get the tower and then expand basically every single time. There is like a really low chance that the Fallen could go one base into guards rush, but I don't know if I ever saw that in Fallen against Beast on Inner Sanctum, because Inner Sanctum just doesn't really exist with one base play. Basically every single game here is at least 2 bases, and then usually more. The map has so many expansions that it just works like that. But yeah, eventually he managed to get into the enemy base, scouted it here, he already has resources for expansion, so he will be starting that. Could do it with this closer minion. Yeah, actually he will swap it. But unfortunately in the process he lost his scout here. Not sure if he saw the incubator, but Quick is also making a tower. He also fully closed this, I believe, so he won't be able to get with his spitters out. If he wouldn't put the tower here, he could just remove the control form, but now he needs to produce everything here, or destroy the trees later, but outside of that I think he's fully locked here. There is a Soul Trap, which is nice. But that means he's going for both Incubator and Soul Trap, which is not that often seen. You can do that in some like hybrid strategies where you go for Stingers and Spitters into Voidwalkers from 2 bases. That can sometimes work. Or you can go like really fast Stalkers with Stingers and Spitters, sometimes even Guards. But usually you either go for Incubator into Spitters, or Incubator into Cocoon and Guards, or you go for Soul Trap and then you make maybe Incubator later just for upgrades. But this is an interesting combination from 2 bases, definitely. He didn't really find his enemy yet, I think, so he doesn't really know the strategy. So he's playing a little bit more safe with the tower and everything. Usually, especially on this map, you should by now, of course, already find the enemy expansion or enemy base. see his strategy, and if he goes for second base, especially later than you, you can just immediately make a third base, and it's usually still safe. But turtling on 2 bases with tower is usually kinda risky. Also, I still don't know how he wants to get the spitters out of here. Maybe there is still wide enough of a entrance somewhere, but I don't see it. So let's see. Looks like Legit actually wants to do some harassment, which is also kinda unseen. Beast harassing Fallen this early. 2 bases against 2 against spitters, but of course Quick is sitting on almost 600 gold, so there is lots of resources that could be in the spitters that would be fighting here, and also he's locked in his base, so not much he can really do here. Another option will be actually also to get a gate and aerial and just transfer the spitters over this wall. But I mean, full wall with Fallen is just not really worth it usually. If there will be one troll, then all of this is just dead. And you can't really do anything. And we actually see Hall of Whispers and Vengeance Hall at once. Plus Venom upgrade for the spitters. And Legit is just keeping Quick locked here. Quick is running around with his stinger, scouting everything. I still don't think he was in the enemy base. And yeah, Legit is getting an early troll for the siege there. Also Revive Ultra, Sharp Blade. Doing it pretty well, preparing the timing push. He's a little bit behind on Borons. That's one mistake I can see here, he's not even producing them. He produced one now, but basically he should have way more Borons here in this army. There is too many goblins on the ground. And overall you want to have easily 30, 40 or even 50 population available as beasts basically at all time, because you can always lose some Borons. And it's also a fighting force, so usually why not? Singer actually found the troll, kinda lucky there. Legit even getting a totem, he's probably scared. I mean, it kinda makes sense, yeah, there is Fallen, turtling with full wall and tower on 2 bases, so it kinda makes sense that he wants to do some, that he might be trying to do some cheese with guards or some other air, maybe even beholders. But no, he's getting freeze and third hive. He doesn't have any void walkers yet, so he has freeze now, but he doesn't have any void. He now made one, but of course the mana will start accumulating pretty late. The tower will be dead in a second, but that will open the path for the spitters, so it's actually not that bad. And now with the freeze, he should be able to do some decent damage to the beast army now. He managed to cast the freeze, even though he almost lost the... Actually, he lost the void walker eventually, but almost lost him too early. Let's take a look on the HP here. Unfortunately, there is no witch to buff the goblins, and there is, once again, not too many of them. Only like 3 or 4 Borons was there before. So, yeah, this unfortunately won't work for Legit, and he will have to pull back. And he also didn't utilize this major map control for majority of the game, of the early game, where he could have easily already had third base. With maybe 2 towers to fully protect this, but yeah, now he will have to face the spitters and void walkers. I think the buildings are too close to each other and Nightmare cannot get out of there. I also sometimes have this problem that I cannot get harvesters out of here, but at least production buildings I try to make in the front. Because now he has a stuck Nightmare there, which is never good. But Legit actually nice response with a Strider, which if he can keep stationary, he can shoot here for free, also prevent any expansions. And there is no gate or Valkycoon yet. Immediate response, I like that, but still, he's not prepared yet. He gets double control from here, locking it actually even more. But now he needs to definitely get more Void Walkers out, expand, and I would actually just get a gate at this point and aerial and start transferring the units out of here, and later maybe harvesters as well. Because this is really stuck here. First of all, you can make these buildings that are not producing anything, like Hollow Whisper, Soul Trap and Valkycoon back here together with the incubator, because you don't really want to make production buildings here, because then the units will be walking from further away to the front line. Even though it doesn't have to be that big of a problem, especially if it's like flying units like Stalkers. but these buildings definitely can be there every single time, and there would be so much more space if that would be the case. You can also just make a deformer here and make more buildings here. Production buildings in these locations are totally fine. And also, as I said, you should usually at this point have like 3, 4, maybe even 5 bases, and then you can also build, of course, more production buildings there. But if you make these buildings in the back, you can usually fit like even 5 production buildings here and still have fully working paths between them. Also, there is huge gaps between the control forms that are taking lots of space here. It's like another building and a half of space. But it's fine. He already has 4 Void Walkers now. I would say like 20 Spitters. There is also a Seeker. But Legit already secured the 3rd base, getting 2 totems there as well. Producing another Troll, and he has Lizard Keep, Lizard Fortress, already 2 Warlocks. I guess he already has Poison Fog maybe. And I don't know if Quick already got anti-magic. I don't think so. Now he's getting the 3rd base, but this one, I really don't like this base. There is no gems, so every single time I would just pick this one, even if it's between me and the enemy. I would rather defend it here with gems than take this, which is maybe a little bit easier to defend, but still pretty open, and you just don't have the gems there, which are pretty important. As you can see, he's completely... actually, both of them are completely drained on gems. So yeah, let's see. He checks this base, there is nothing there. Now he'll probably go here. He also checked this with a Stinger that died to Warrior. But Lechi doesn't have any scouts to find this, so he will find out about this push when it's already in his base. Totem will get one-shotted. Quick tanking the Totem with his Void Walker. Fortunately, he survived there. But Legit really doesn't want to push into this, which he definitely could, to be honest, but there is more Spitters coming from the back, so he didn't want to get surrounded, which is kinda smart. At the same time, I think he should still be able to kill all of this, even if he gets surrounded, especially if he has Warlocks and stuff already. But yeah, he lost the base, now they are both on 2, which he doesn't really know probably, but... I mean, the Quick's base now is finishing, but not saturated yet, there is no gems. I wouldn't be too worried about that income. And there is an insane value from Poison Fog, also decent freeze, surround, but the Poison Fogs are everywhere. We finally see the anti-magic, but it was really late. All the Spitters are already like half HP. But of course, once again, yes, surround is really powerful. It's just that the Poison Fogs are even more powerful, so they are both completely getting destroyed. But now the Trolls with basically full HP and insane damage will eventually deal with the Spitters, who are really low HP now, and they will all die here together with the Void Walkers, and that means Quick is basically back to 0 units, but he is still ahead in population, because I don't think he has more villagers, but they take double population, so population should be exactly the same. His 3rd base is not saturated at all yet, but he probably has the population in production buildings now. Yeah, I mean, this is crazy. He just queued up like 15 Spitters in 3 hives. Legit double expanding immediately with also lots of towers, which means he had like, I don't know how much, but probably over 1000 gold in bank. Maybe almost close to 2000, and now he spent all of that, while also being able to queue up so many units, so I think he was sitting on lots of resources during the last fight. He also has revive alternatives not utilizing now. And he has some good levels here and lost lots of units, so I think he definitely has something there that he could be producing. He's also locked on population again. He has one Strider here, I like that. We see some first saturation here, but one Harvester is AFK there. Also some minions here, but it's fine. Henge as a protection of Totem, okay. This Nightmare is still stuck here. We see Jump of the Avenger and another Vengeance Hall. I mean, at this point the Vengeance Hall should be of course here. That's just better position. But even if I would make it here, I would at least change the buildings, so it's a little bit more in the front. But it's fine, it's like small things that make it a little bit more efficient. Nothing too crazy. Another stuck unit is here, Spitter. So that's already 6 population and almost like 300 gold. That is being wasted there. 4 Void Walkers once again ready in action, similar amount of Spitters. but I would say Legit is also back to similar army and maybe even has more trolls than before, plus he has some levels there. But of course the Fallen also farm sub levels, the Spitters are already level 3. Experience, we actually don't see it, 4,500. And upgrades here for the Beast Army are 2 and 1, and nothing for Trolls, and Spitters are also 2 and 1. So also pretty balanced. Legit placing down some Guardian runes to scout potential surrounds and stuff like that, which is always good. Getting the Mouth of Hell there as well, potentially for some Rains of Fire. And his 4th base is already fully working, getting even more totems there, saturating the Gems Mine. And yeah, it's looking really good for him. He has 3 fully working bases. This one will be soon empty, but same actually applies here, which will be actually empty even faster. This one is also kinda already empty, which means Quick is actually only on 1 base now, where he's getting only gold, and then 2 more for just gems. And he has lots of gold in bank, and also is ahead in population, but he definitely needs to start taking bases. Now he won't even have a place where to transfer his harvesters, even though I think they will actually be stuck here, so he'll probably just have to transfer them to wood and then take these guys or something, but... I mean, Deer definitely doesn't really need wood, so I would just make an aerial there and free them, or even destroy a building or something. Henge will get destroyed before Ferocity is finished, which is really important. It increases the attack speed of Trolls and Ogres, which is really important when you have so many leveled up Trolls. Totems are also down, all minions will be dead. I don't think he can destroy the stronghold, maybe he can actually. The Beast Army is not coming immediately here. He's going for a Poison Fog, which I like. Also, actually if he froze his units instead of displaying them, so there was just a misclick on keybind, I think. 4 Poison Fogs, a little bit of an overkill, I would say. But he managed to lock the full Fallen army here. And unless he has dimensional portal to escape, then it's probably not gonna be possible for him. Once again, needs Dispel there. But not happening, Voidwalkers are dying. Only 1 is left with no mana. And Legit is actually leaving. I think he was afraid that he would get attacked at home, but this was just 3 kills at this point. And he's actually getting this base himself. Quick still not expanding. The harvesters are indeed logged here. And he's just pumping his resources that he already has into Avengers and Spitters and probably trying to do some last push. Now he goes for double expansion. While the Strider actually moved here, and here is a Harpist, so this base might be actually doable or not. Actually Legit is now moving there maybe, but also Quick is returning. And he maintained all of this alive, just because Legit retreated, kinda for no reason, to be honest. He still had some Warlocks here, I think, so he could have just played more Guardian runes, and if someone would be coming, he would see it. But now it won't be just Avengers and Stingers, it will be also this huge army of Spitters together with all of that. And if Quick can reproduce some Voidwalkers, I think it will be really good. His base got scouted by the Harpy. This one I'm not sure, and Strider actually moved to some random position when there is already a Harpy, so... not too sure about that scouting, but at least Legit is trying to do some scouting of the expansions, so that's really good. That is the Voidwalker. I mean, he had mana, but only like 10 HP or something, so that was really fast kill, and he should have rather kept him in the back for this spells than trying to freeze something with so low HP. Now you can see the Fallen army just completely disappearing, because there was undispellable Poison Fox and Rains of Fire, completely destroying all the Spitters, and even the Avengers are like half HP. Now he's pulling back, but he's already a little bit behind in population. Legit has a way better macro. Also knows about the expansions of Quick. And he finally decided to destroy his own buildings. He goes for the Vengeance Hall. He has only one other one, but I guess he rather wants to get the Harvesters out. He he could have also, I mean, what could he destroy? If he destroys this, he cannot make Void Walkers, which is probably not ideal. If he destroys the Dark Fortress, he cannot gather gems here, which he's struggling with. And here he would have to destroy both Wild Cocoon and Hive, and then also unsummon and control from somewhere else, all these control forms. So was probably the smallest damage to destroy the Vengeance Hall. But yeah, he could have also gotten the aerial or dimensional portal even. Things like that. Lots of totems from Legit. I know he was doing this always with his Empire bases. He just made an expansion and at least 5 guard towers around it immediately. So seems like he brought this habit to his beast gameplay a little bit. Not as many towers. Usually goes for 3 instead of 5, but of course they are more expensive, so kinda makes sense. Strider actually destroying this base, and as you can see the Strider damage is swing, it deals basically 100% damage to anything, and it's not bad. Strider have one of the highest single, maybe not the highest probably, but one of the highest single target DPSs in the game. And 2000 HP is not that much, so it will go down pretty swiftly. The other base got destroyed by the full army of Legit. And Queek is kinda taking my habits here, and while getting destroyed on multiple other places by enemy macro split push, he is rather going for his own push to finish the enemy. However, I'm afraid he doesn't really have the power for that now. I usually do that if I have full population. 130 against 140 is not ideal. And also keep in mind that at least 2 units are locked there. Yeah, now 2 splitters. This one is not stuck, but this one still is. We saw some Ogre attempts there, but they got cancelled. And Legit is quickly rushing back into his base. Level 4 Goblin Hunter here, Ogre, 2-0 upgrades, 3 and 2 for the other units. And still only 2 and 1 for Queek, so he wasn't upgrading his units for a long time. Avengers 0 upgrades actually. And there is so many trolls. This is where you really need to have stalkers. Yeah, once Beast gets into a situation where he has like 10 or 15 trolls, you just need to have stalkers. Or a lot of freezes, but if he also has warlocks, then it won't work. So you really need to defile all of this, otherwise you are just dead. Or we can also drop lots of stingers on it, but there will usually be some goblins that will just splash them down, so yeah, defiles are just basically necessary. So you can see everything is just falling really quickly like this. Legit rebuilding his base here. Getting 2 lizard fortresses here. His main base. Will he kill the spitter or not? Might fall still actually. But shouldn't if he can kill one spitter with full army. Now he's chasing him. Queek is escaping, going for a harpy nest. And he falls. So yeah, Legit didn't really lose any base, but he lost lots of infrastructure. All of these buildings are heavily damaged. There is the Strider. There is a Deformer, so that will be scouted. Harpy. And Queek again going for the base down here. But yeah, Queek doesn't really have any income. Legit has 0 wood, so that's also not ideal. But he has lots of open population, so he doesn't really need more Borons. Of course, there is other stuff that costs wood, but he can spam some units at least. Trying to make some saturation here, gathering wood in this location. I think this is a new Mouth of Hell. I think he had one here before. He even left one goblin here with 10 kills. And yeah, Legit goes for a bush. He's really confident that Queek doesn't have resources because he doesn't have bases. If Queek would actually have good macro now, then Legit couldn't make this push with just this small army. But against what is here, it's more than enough. Yeah. All of these trolls with levels, bloodlust and speed boost, and actually some upgrades as well, is enough. A really good freeze, but there is a warlock, He just needs to turn on spell abduction. But he actually rather went for Rain of Fire, but then he cancelled it. Freeze, but there's just not enough damage to really utilize the freezes. And so yeah, eventually the Tweaks army fall, and he calls it GG. So yeah, let's take a look on the results. 34 minutes, 53 seconds. A little bit more kills for Legit, but kinda even units produced. Overall better kill loss ratio here, but we get a little bit more units, but Legit way more experience. Double researches, double buildings, or even more actually. And resources were actually kinda balanced, even though Legit had more bases. But he was also losing some, maybe the saturation wasn't that good. I was actually expecting him to have a little bit more gold, but I mean, yeah, it was kinda even based on the statistics. Quick spent a little bit more gems, Legit a little bit more wood, so pretty standard situation. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you in the next one, so take care guys.